What if I told you the most powerful weapons in America's arsenal don't just sit in silos, but cruise silently through the skies, cloaked in stealth? And from Cold War giants to invisible assassins, these aircraft weren't just built to fly, they were designed to dominate. Since the ashes of World War II, the U.S. has maintained a relentless edge in aerial warfare, with long-range bombers forming the backbone of its nuclear deterrence. These airborne titans aren't just tools of destruction, they're bold, flying statements of power. Whether roaring above 50,000 feet or hugging the ground at terrifyingly low altitudes, American bombers have reshaped the very idea of strategic air combat. Today, we'll dive deep into the most lethal bombers in the U.S. fleet and uncover why some of these beasts, like the legendary B-52, are still patrolling the skies after 70 years. Back in 1945, even before the last B-29 rolled off the line, the U.S. military was already imagining its next-generation warbird. The Air Materiel Command drafted specs for a new high-altitude, long-range bomber that could outpace, outfly, and outgun anything the world had ever seen. They wanted it to cruise at 34,000 feet, carry 10,000 pounds of bombs, and be armed with 20-millimeter cannons, and they were just getting started. Fast forward to 1952, and Boeing delivered. The B-52 Stratofortress soared into the skies. By 1957, three of these giants flew nonstop around the globe in just over 45 hours, a record-breaking mission later called Operation Power Flight. During the Cold War, these bombers weren't just airborne. They were everywhere, patrolling Soviet borders with missions like Chrome Dome and Head Start, always ready to strike first or retaliate if needed. When surface-to-air missile threats rose in the late 50s, the B-52 adapted. Instead of flying high, it flew low, hugging the terrain, slipping beneath enemy radar, and delivering weapons from just a few hundred feet above ground. Its versatility didn't stop at nuclear warfare. These bombers were deployed for oceanic reconnaissance, anti-ship missions, and even mine-laying operations. Two B-52s alone could surveil over 140,000 square miles of sea in mere hours. Modernization has kept this Cold War veteran in top form. The latest B-52H variant boasts speeds of 650 miles per hour, a combat range near 9,000 miles, and flies at 50,000 feet. And the incoming B-52J, featuring new Rolls-Royce engines, updated electronics, and a powerful APG-82 radar, promises to keep the Stratofortress in service until the 2050s. Anyone thinking this big ugly fat fellow was ready for retirement clearly hasn't been paying attention. But the B-52 isn't the only star in America's aerial lineup. Enter the B-1 Lancer, affectionately nicknamed the Bone. This sleek, swept-wing marvel was initially envisioned in the 1960s, but saw delays due to cost concerns until President Reagan brought it back in 1981. He declared the U.S. would build both the B-1 and a new stealth bomber simultaneously. By 1982, the B-1B variant emerged, optimized for radar evasion and designed for speed, reaching Mach 1.25 at high altitudes and cruising just under Mach 1 near the ground. With reinforced airframes and a beefed-up takeoff weight of 477,000 pounds, the B-1B wasn't just fast, it was formidable. Originally built for nuclear missions, its role shifted after the Cold War. By 1995, its nuclear capabilities were deactivated, and its systems were stripped of any atomic potential. But as global tensions rise, don't be surprised if the Bone gets a nuclear makeover once again, especially as a complement to the next big player in the sky. Now let's talk stealth. The B-2 Spirit. With its haunting silhouette and radar-dodging skin, the Spirit redefined aerial warfare. Developed under a black project in 1979, the B-2 was a ghost in the sky, its existence hidden even from most of Congress. Codenamed Aurora, the B-2 was engineered in total secrecy. Personnel were vetted with extreme security, facilities were restructured, and parts were sourced through fake companies. Finally revealed in 1988, even its public debut concealed its rear for secrecy. But that stealth came at a price, a big one. By 1996, the B-2 cost taxpayers nearly $4.2 billion per unit when accounting for R&D, testing, and production. Maintenance, sky high. Each hour of flight required 119 hours of specialized upkeep, often inside climate-controlled hangars. But that radar-absorbing exterior gave the Spirit a deadly advantage. Freedom to operate at high altitudes, delivering precision strikes where others couldn't even approach. From the thunderous B-52s to the whisper-quiet B-2 Spirits, these bombers represent more than steel and engines. They symbolize America's unyielding dominance in the skies. With new upgrades and next-gen aircraft like the B-21 Raider on the horizon, the future of strategic bombing is stealthier, smarter, and more formidable than ever. So the next time you hear a distant rumble overhead, remember, it might just be the future of warfare flying by.